Units of the Syrian Arab Army eliminate dozens of terrorists in several areas and take full control of the western mountains surrounding Az-Zabadani in Damascus countryside. Saudi regime continues to launch air raids on Yemen, killing at least 100 people in a gold factory. Iraqi troops maintain full control of Tikrit city, killing dozens of ISIL terrorists. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Irado Krikorian with the news in English. An official source at the Foreign and Expatriates Ministry has said the Jordanian authorities have closed down Nasseeb border crosspoint from the Jordanian side. The source added that Syria holds the specialized Jordanian authorities responsible for impairing the passage of trucks and passengers and for the repercussions of this step economically and socially. We start our bulletin with the news on the ground. Preparations are underway to recover the city of Idlib. The Syrian Arab Army has targeted terrorist gatherings in Idlib and its surroundings, eliminating many of them in Binnesh, Fayloun, Mantaf, Sirja and Sermin in the governorate countryside. In Hamas suburb, armed men's hideouts have also been targeted in several areas, including Kfar Zitta, Rasm al-Hamad, Al-Latamne, Hamadi, Omar, Abu Hanaya and Tallet Haratin. In Homs countryside, the Syrian Arab Army has eliminated terrorist hideouts in the Palmyran, Jbab Hamad, Rish, Manouch, At-Tafha and Kharbet Musto. In Homs northern suburb, terrorist gatherings have been targeted in the villages of Barghoutia and western Madraja. 2 infiltration attempts have been fired, the first from As-Salihiyya and At-Tarfawiyya in the direction of Abu al-Alaya and the second from As-Salihiyya in the direction of Khattab. The Syrian Arab Army also destroyed a mortar gun podium in northern Al-Rastan. In Daraa, 2 armored vehicles belonging to terrorists have been destroyed in Ibta and south of Kirfa. Gunmen have also been targeted in several other areas. 2 170 size launchers were destroyed in Nasseeb and a terrorist hideout was demolished in Haret Suedan, downtown Daraa. A number of terrorists have been killed, including the Saudis, Aus al-Jalwan and Khalid al-Ashhab, the Jordanian Abu Suaib nicknamed al-Hashim, and the Qatari Radi al-Mansouri. In Damascus countryside, the Syrian Arab Army has completely maintained control over the Syrian chain of the western mountains overlooking the town of Az-Zabadani, cutting terrorist supply lines from the Lebanese borders, which are less than 10 kilometers away. The military operation to recover Az-Zabadani has been unusual, during which the Syrian Arab Army depended on the method of surprise, resorting to the most difficult ways to take full control of Az-Zabadani hills and paralyze the movement of the terrorists there and the adjacent plains and cut off their lines of supplies. The operation, according to the field commanders, has realized 2 important goals. First, to completely secure Sarghaya, Al-Kfair, Jdeidati Abous Road, and second, to encircle Al-Kfair and Madar and defeat the terrorists in the hills overlooking Al-Kfair. The operation resulted in retaking Az-Zabadani plains and stopping any move by the terrorists, leaving them with no other option but to withdraw from the town towards Al-Qalamoun prairies. The Saudi-led coalition's airstrikes against Yemen continue, claiming the lives of many civilians as they target vital utilities and residential quarters. 29 people have been killed and 25 others injured during Saudi air raids, which targeted a foodstuffs and dairy factory in the governorate of Al-Hudaydah. The airstrikes also hit Midi al-Jisr harbor and the Hard Customs Directorate in Hujra Governorate, the coastal defense camp in Al-Hudaydah, the military establishment and vital military installations, the 55 Reserve Republican Guard Brigade and a petrol derivatives station in Yerim Directorate in Ab, in addition to Meran District in Sada Governorate and the 33 Armor Brigade camp in Ad-Dalia, as well as an oil station in Ktaf Directorate in Sada, north of the country. Scores of citizens have been killed or wounded as a result. Sources at the Yemeni Ministry of Defense affirmed the use by Saudi Arabia of internationally prohibited weapons in its aggression on Yemen. On its part, the UN referred to the 40 people killed in the camp of the displaced north of Yemen, condemning it as an ugly crime and calling for a wide investigation to punish the perpetrators. UNICEF, on its part, has said 62 Yemeni children at least have been killed and 30 others injured in the aggression on Yemen. In Iraq, the Iraqi forces opened Tikrit-Samarra main road after maintaining control over Tikrit city. The Iraqi flag was hoisted on top of the governorate building in Salah ad-Din as all the presidential palaces were liberated, and Iraqi armed forces maintained control over Al-Alam Bridge and Al-Zuhur neighborhood in central Tikrit, as well as over Al-Bu Abaid area southeast of the city, continuing their advance to liberate all the area. Iraqi armed forces also repelled a large attack by ISIS terrorists west of Samarra, inflicting heavy casualties on the terrorists. Meanwhile, the Iraqi army prepares for the forthcoming battle in Nineveh, as the Minister of Defense announced that the victory, which was achieved in Tikrit, is a starting point to launch the operation of liberating Nineveh and the rest of Al-Anbar governorate. In occupied Palestine, one Palestinian teenager was wounded by Israeli fire during clashes in Jenin camp in the West Bank. A number of Palestinians suffered suffocation as a result of the use of tear gas by Israeli soldiers in the village of Al-Arqa, west of Jenin. Occupation troops, meanwhile, infiltrated the city of Hebron and arrested a number of Palestinians. In another development, Israeli war boats opened fire at Palestinian fishermen in As-Sudaniya area in Gaza Strip, preventing them earning their daily living. Negotiations between Iran and the group of 5+1 on Iran's nuclear file have resumed in the Swiss city of Lausanne at the level of experts. Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Jawad Zarif expressed hope that his country reach a final formulation for the international agreement, with the group of 5+1 describing the negotiations to be going so well. For his part, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, who had left Lausanne this morning, announced that an agreement had been reached on all basic points related to Iran's nuclear file, as the final details of the agreement will be prepared next June. Back to our local news. On the occasion of Land Day, the Call of the Land Group has presented a theatrical show entitled The Olives Wedding, highlighting Palestinian heritage and identity through musical folkloric performances.
The Land Day is a prominent landmark in the Palestinian people's history of struggle. On that day, the Palestinians declare their adherence to the land of their fathers and ancestors and their national identity, as well as their right to defend their existence despite the acts of killing, terrorism and suppression that have been committed by the Israeli occupation authorities against them to drive them away of their homeland.
Today the group presents a dancing theatrical show named The Olives Wedding on the occasion of the Land Day, commemorated by every Palestinian inside or outside the homeland, to confirm his or her right to the homeland. This work reflects the Palestinian people's strong adherence to this right.
Now to latest business stock market news, but after a short break, stay tuned.